Welcome, Class 11 Biology enthusiasts. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating aspects of human physiology, double circulation. This incredible system keeps us alive and energetic. We'll explore its basics, delve into its mechanisms, understand its evolutionary significance, and even touch upon its engineering marvels. Get ready for an exciting journey through the heart of biology. Let's kick things off with the basics. What exactly is double circulation, and why is it so important for us? Double circulation is simply a system where blood makes two distinct trips through the heart to complete one full cycle around the body. Think of it like a two-stage delivery system. This sophisticated setup is a hallmark of birds and mammals, ensuring a highly efficient and continuous supply of oxygen to every cell. It's crucial because it keeps oxygen-rich blood completely separate from oxygen-poor blood, preventing any mixing that would reduce efficiency. This separation is key to our high energy demands and active lifestyles, allowing our bodies to function optimally. So, what are these two trips or loops? We have the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. The pulmonary loop is like a shuttle service to the lungs. It takes deoxygenated blood from your heart to your lungs to pick up oxygen, and then brings that fresh, oxygenated blood back to your heart. The systemic loop is the main delivery service. It takes that oxygen-rich blood from your heart and distributes it to your entire body, delivering oxygen and nutrients before returning the deoxygenated blood back to the heart. This two-part system is why we call it double circulation, ensuring every part of your body gets the oxygen it needs efficiently. Now, let's test your understanding with a few quick questions. Take a moment to think about these. Which type of animals primarily exhibit double circulation? Name the two main loops involved. And what do you think is the main advantage of having this double circulation system? These questions will help solidify your grasp on the fundamental concepts we just covered. Ready to go a bit deeper? Let's unravel the intricate paths blood takes in each circuit and understand the heart's central role. Double circulation is a highly advanced circulatory pattern where blood passes through the heart twice for every complete circuit around the body. This system is a defining feature of birds and mammals, including humans, and is absolutely vital for sustaining our high metabolic rates. A key aspect of this system is the complete segregation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood streams, which prevents any mixing. This separation is fundamental to ensuring that tissues receive blood with the highest possible oxygen content, thereby optimizing cellular respiration and energy production throughout the body. Let's trace the journey through the pulmonary circuit. Deoxygenated blood, collected from all over your body, first enters the heart's right atrium, then moves into the right ventricle. From there, the right ventricle powerfully pumps this blood into the pulmonary artery, which carries it directly to your lungs. In the lungs, a crucial exchange occurs, carbon dioxide is released, and oxygen is absorbed into the blood. This newly oxygenated blood then flows back to the heart, specifically entering the left atrium via the pulmonary veins. It's a precise route designed solely for gas exchange. Next, we have the systemic circuit, responsible for distributing oxygen-rich blood to the entire body. From the left atrium, the oxygenated blood moves into the left ventricle. This is the heart's strongest chamber, and it pumps blood with immense force into the aorta, which is the largest artery in your body. The aorta then branches out, sending oxygen and vital nutrients to every tissue and organ. After delivering its precious cargo and collecting waste products like carbon dioxide, this deoxygenated blood makes its way back to the heart, entering the right atrium through the superior and inferior vena cava. The heart's four chambers are perfectly orchestrated for this two-part process. Now, let's challenge your understanding with 5 practice questions. Think about the specific pathways and chambers involved. For instance, can you describe the path of deoxygenated blood in the pulmonary circuit, starting from the right ventricle? Which chamber receives oxygenated blood from the lungs? What is the primary function of the systemic circulation? How many times does blood pass through the heart in one complete cycle? And finally, name the major artery that carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the body. Pause and ponder these, they're key to mastering this topic. Ready to connect the dots and explore the why behind double circulation? Let's analyze its advantages and evolutionary significance. The evolution of circulatory systems is fascinating, adapting to the diverse metabolic needs of life forms. While simple organisms have open systems, complex vertebrates employ closed systems. Single circulation, typical of fish, sees blood pass through the heart just once per circuit. But double circulation, found in higher vertebrates, marks a significant leap. It allows for far more efficient oxygen transport. We categorize it into incomplete, found in amphibians and most reptiles with their three-chambered hearts, where some blood mixing occurs. And then there's complete double circulation, characteristic of birds and mammals, with their fully four-chambered hearts, ensuring absolute separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. This complete separation is a game-changer for efficiency. Let's delve deeper into the advantages of complete double circulation. First, the efficient oxygen delivery. By completely separating oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, our tissues receive only the purest, oxygen-rich blood, maximizing cellular function. Second, it allows for maintained pressure. The heart can pump blood to the delicate lungs at a lower pressure, preventing damage, and then repump it at a much higher pressure to the rest of the body, ensuring all distant tissues are adequately supplied. This dual-pressure system is incredibly effective. Finally, it supports a high metabolic rate, which is vital for endothermic, or warm-blooded, animals like us, allowing us to maintain a stable body temperature and sustain high-energy activities. To truly appreciate double circulation, let's compare it across different vertebrate groups. Consider fish, with their two-chambered hearts and single circulation, where blood pressure drops significantly after passing through the gills, leading to lower efficiency. Then, look at amphibians and reptiles, with their three-chambered hearts and incomplete double circulation, where partial mixing of blood occurs, offering moderate efficiency. Finally, birds and mammals stand out with their four-chambered hearts and complete double circulation. Here, there's no mixing, pressure is maintained optimally, and oxygen delivery is maximally efficient, directly supporting their high metabolic rates. This evolutionary progression shows how life adapts for survival and energy demands. Now, it's time for some challenging questions to deepen your understanding. Can you differentiate between complete and incomplete double circulation based on heart chambers and blood mixing? Why is maintaining high systemic blood pressure so crucial for mammals? Which animals exhibit incomplete double circulation, and what's its primary limitation? Explain how double circulation fuels the high metabolic rates of birds and mammals. What would happen physiologically if a human had a hole in their interventricular septum? Compare blood pressure dynamics between single and double circulation after respiratory exchange. And finally, why is it beneficial for the pulmonary circuit to operate at a lower pressure than the systemic circuit? Think critically. Alright, NEET aspirants, prepare to elevate your understanding. We are about to explore double circulation at a competitive, engineering-level depth, connecting it to evolution, physiology, and even clinical insights. This is where the true mastery begins. The evolution of double circulation is a pivotal chapter in vertebrate history, intimately linked to the shift from aquatic to terrestrial life and rising metabolic needs. Single circulation, while effective for fish gills, proved insufficient for air-breathing lungs, which demand a separate, lower-pressure circuit. Terrestrial life and the advent of endothermy, maintaining a constant body temperature, necessitated a highly efficient, high-pressure systemic circuit to deliver abundant oxygen. This dual requirement drove the development of a fully septated, four-chambered heart, ensuring complete separation of blood streams and maximal oxygen delivery, a critical adaptation for the energetic demands of warm-blooded animals. The four-chambered heart of complete double circulation is a masterpiece of biological engineering. The complete interventricular septum is not just an anatomical barrier, it's a functional separator ensuring oxygen saturation in systemic arterial blood is never compromised. This design allows for precise pressure regulation. The right ventricle, with its thinner wall, generates just enough pressure for the delicate pulmonary capillaries, preventing damage while optimizing gas exchange. In stark contrast, the left ventricle, a powerhouse of muscle, generates immense pressure to overcome systemic vascular resistance, perfusing every distant tissue, from your toes to your brain, against gravity and through intricate capillary networks, guaranteeing consistent oxygen and nutrient supply. Beyond structure, double circulation optimizes hemodynamic dynamics and the oxygen dissociation curve. The systemic circuit maintains a high partial pressure of oxygen, creating a steep gradient for efficient diffusion into metabolically active tissues. This efficiency is further fine-tuned by the Bohr and Haldane effects. The Bohr effect enhances oxygen release in tissues with high CO2 and low pH, while the Haldane effect facilitates CO2 uptake in tissues and its release in the lungs. Crucially, the complete separation of circuits prevents any dilution of systemic arterial PO2 by deoxygenated blood. Such mixing would shift the oxygen dissociation curve to the left, reducing oxygen availability to tissues, a critical impairment, especially for organs with high oxygen demands, like the brain and heart itself. This integrated system ensures that oxygen is not just transported, but delivered precisely where and when it's needed most, maximizing cellular respiration. The intricate dance of cardiac output and blood flow in double circulation is exquisitely choreographed by the autonomic nervous system and a symphony of hormones. During periods of stress or intense exercise, the sympathetic nervous system steps in, boosting heart rate and contractility, thereby supercharging cardiac output. Concurrently, a precise ballet of vasoconstriction and vasodilation redirects blood flow, prioritizing active muscles and vital organs while temporarily reducing supply to less critical areas. This dynamic, adaptive regulation ensures that the core advantages of double circulation, superior oxygen delivery and efficient waste removal are maintained, even under the most demanding physiological conditions. This remarkable adaptability is a cornerstone of the endurance and resilience observed in endothermic animals, allowing them to thrive in diverse environments and respond effectively to challenges. Alright, for the first set of hardest questions, let's tackle some in-depth concepts. First, explain the physiological necessity of distinct pressure circuits. Second, how does the complete interventricular septum optimize oxygen delivery considering the oxygen dissociation curve? Third, discuss the evolutionary advantages of complete over incomplete double circulation. Fourth, describe the autonomic nervous system's role in regulating blood flow during exercise. And fifth, what are the consequences of a large ventricular septal defect? These questions require a comprehensive understanding. Moving on to the next set of challenging questions. Sixth, how does the transition from gill to lung respiration correlate with the evolution of double circulation? Seventh, how do the Bohr and Haldane effects further optimize gas exchange within complete double circulation? Eighth, contrast energy expenditure for thermoregulation between incomplete and complete double circulation. Ninth, propose a hypothetical scenario where a terrestrial vertebrate with single circulation might survive, detailing its limitations. And finally, 10th, discuss the engineering principles in the mammalian heart's design for pressure generation and flow separation. These questions will truly test your analytical and integrative skills. And that wraps up a deep dive into double circulation. I hope you now have a comprehensive understanding of this vital biological system, from its basic components to its complex regulatory mechanisms and evolutionary significance. Remember, Understanding these core concepts is crucial for your NEET preparations. For more such in-depth content and to continue your learning journey, head over to synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more fascinating biology lessons. Keep learning, keep exploring, and aim for excellence.